talking about that area along the Tennessee River. There's going to be campgrounds. Just please get to your safe place. If you know anybody in those communities, make sure that they know to get to their safe place right now. It's in the middle of the night. You know, it's 2:50 a.m. Central Time for our folks that are in Northeast Alabama. So a lot of people may be asleep. They may have, you know, their weather alerts turned off. Hopefully not phones on Do Not Disturb. So if you know somebody there, give them a call and make sure that they're aware and they can get to wherever their safe shelter is. And this is the area that we're talking about right here. And you can see again, this is similar to what we've seen with these tornado warned storms before. Definite rotation, not definite tornado on the ground. So we're definitely seeing that. You can see strong shear here. You can see where we have the reds and the greens together. So this one is in effect until 3:15 Central Time, 3:15 Central Time. And we're going to see what the exact verbiage is. 1.75 inch in diameter hail along with this, which sounds like a golf ball, doesn't it? Yep. And the verbiage is, again, very specific, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So moving east at 30 miles per hour. So again, we're talking about broad rotation in this storm. Not a confirmed tornado at all, but definitely some rotation in here that is going to cause me to tell you, if you're in Bryant, Eliza, go ahead and get to your safe place, especially if you are in Bryant, Alabama. Go to your safe place right now. If you're in Bridgeport, hopefully you are in your safe place. Let me know on Facebook, type in what's going on if you are in any of those areas. Nicole says the rain is coming down in Bryant with lots of lightning. Vanessa says I have hail in Richard City. Thank you for that. Let's see. In Athens, Lauren says thunder and lightning are crazy. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's clear this off and we'll do it again. This already looks like it may be, yeah, this looks like it's already starting to fall apart a little bit. This does not look near as impressive as it did a minute ago. Whenever we have tornado warnings, though, my advice is whenever you have a warning, and Allison was talking about the tag on there. Just, okay, we're doing a severe thunderstorm warning, but you know what? If it flares back up, we'll see what we see. And that's kind of where we are right now. The hail is pretty impressive. So I'm going to zoom in and we're going to talk hail for just a minute. And remember that hail is not just hail, it's also indicative of some really strong winds. This is most likely golf ball size hail falling along County Road 676, County Road 91, those specific areas. And if I click on the base velocity for our winds, you can also see in that area 63, 56, 51, 58 mile per hour wind gusts in that area as well. So not only hail, not only torrential, blinding rain, but also very stout wind. So tornado or not, a lot of possibility for damage in that area. So we have two tornado warnings going on simultaneously. I'm actively looking for anything indicating that we may have a tornado, and I'm not seeing that right now. The signature is not as definite as it was, even with the rotation at this point. David, if they can take a quick break, I just want to update you on a different thing. If we can switch over to links 2. What I have up here right now is going to be the 3-hour rainfall. So at this point, not only are we concerned about the gusty winds, the hail, those 2 tornado warnings that we have, but these rainfall totals are adding up. This is radar estimated rainfall. You're seeing that empty circle. That's because that's where the actual radar is in High Top, Alabama. And look at some of this, 1 to 2 inches, maybe even up to 2.5 in some spots just in the past 3 hours. We have some more storms that are going to be rolling in. So we also want you to be aware as we get closer to that daylight time, people may be trying to get out. Not only do we have the current severe thunderstorm threat, the current 2 tornado warnings, but flash flooding is going to become more of a concern. Even the National Weather Service has said they're keeping an eye on that for northern Madison and northern Jackson counties in Northeast Alabama. So of course we want to pass that message along to you and make sure that you're aware of that flash flooding potential potential too. Again, no flash flood warning yet, but just want to kind of plant that seed in your mind at this time. David?
Thank you, Allison. Good word. Back on Links 1, if we could switch it back over there. I am picking up where we have some hail likely falling out of the storm in Marion County. So we're going to take a look at that one real quick. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Marion County until 3:30 Central Time. And I'm just going to click on that storm. We'll see what we have. So 90% chance of hail. You can see some of the hail right there. These are the areas impacted by this storm in the next 10 minutes. BTI tornado index of 4.2 out of 10. So this is another storm that we're watching for wind and for rain. And when we talk about the wind, you saw where we had that hail. Oh, not only that, but we also, near Jasper, looks like we have wind gusts of about 45 to 50 miles per hour there as well. And as we go south, look at this, moving into Shiloh and Trenton. Both on the eastern side of the tornado warned areas, we have incredibly gusty winds. And if you're in any of these areas, again, Marion County, Jackson County, let me know what the wind is like. Is it blowing like crazy? Charlene says, yes, hailing here in Sequatchie. Okay, thank you for that. A strong storm in Middle Valley, Soddy Daisy. Thank you for that. And this is all moving eastward, approaching Chattanooga. If you're in Chattanooga, nothing severe for you yet. I do think they will most likely move some of these severe thunderstorm warnings to the east. Our tornado warning in Jackson County, 3:15, that's in effect officially for another 20 minutes. We will see if they let that stand. Both of these are in effect until 3:15 in Jackson County. And the reason I say that is while we have a lot of evidence of hail, a lot of evidence of very strong winds, I don't have any evidence, a little bit there maybe that's developed. Let me see. Okay, so here's an area where we still have some strong shear. We also have here and here. So near Shiloh, and hopefully you're in your safe place right now in Shiloh, but we do have a couple of areas where we still may be having some broad areas of rotation. So we've got near Shiloh right here, we've got up toward Floral Crest, at least extremely strong winds, and that is drifting toward Trenton, which is not under tornado warning, but you are under severe thunderstorm warning. So that is all moving into Dade County right now, Dade County. Notice our shear rate has weakened considerably. I'll go back in time and you can see how we have all of those reds, and those reds have just kind of faded away. So the wind shear, which high wind shear is one of the hallmarks of a tornado, and I'm not seeing that at all. Doesn't mean we may not be getting some broad rotation around Shiloh, but we are not getting anything indicating a tornado in that area.
And if they want to switch over to Links 2, as we look at the radar, I just pulled up a track of that core that you're kind of talking about right to the north of Shiloh. So we're moving out of Alabama into Georgia. Trenton, you're already getting heavy rain and lightning right now, but that potential for the strongest wind where there is that little bit of rotation with that hail as well. We're looking at this pink area right here. That's going to be getting to you in about 10 minutes, Morganville in about 16 minutes, Lookout Mountain in about 25, and then to Chickamauga in about 28 minutes. So just kind of timing that transition out from Alabama into our Georgia communities.
And we're going to do a quick on Links 1, and I can make this easy. If I'm talking, it's Links 1. If Allison's talking, it's Links 2. There we go. I had a lot of people on Facebook asking for a future scan image, so let's do that real quick. We're going to show you where all of this mess is going to be in an hour, roughly. Okay, so there you go, in an hour. So in an hour, if you can hang in there, you will be pretty much past the worst of it. I'll say from the Sequatchie Valley westward, if you can hang in there an hour, the worst will be behind you. Now, still some heavy thunderstorms moving into North Georgia, Bradley County at that time. So we'll still have some strong storms along that line back towards still Jackson County, Alabama. But we will see this moving quickly through and hopefully safely through, and we will all be good to go. Special weather statement extending from Dunlap over to Athens, where we may have some small hail. I'm going to look for hail in there. I'm not seeing any getting picked up, but we certainly may have some. But the biggest core of hail, oh my goodness, look at that. That's just An absolute mess. So hail could be anywhere embedded in here in the eastern side of Jackson County and moving into Dade County. Okay, and let me see, I believe we may be having another one. It's going to be Peachtree.
I don't see a new update from
Yeah, I don't either.
Peachtree.
Okay.
If they want to grab links too with the tornado watch, just to let people know if you're wondering if you're even under a tornado watch as this morning continues to progress. Our Tennessee counties in the yellow, you're under a tornado watch until 6 a.m. Eastern time. So I'll just click on McMinn County. You can see that watch in place until 6 a.m. Eastern time. For our Georgia and Alabama communities, because we have this wave that's also coming in from the northwest, it's lasting a little bit longer for you because you're further to the south. So Dade, Walker, Catoosa County in Georgia, Jackson and DeKalb counties in Alabama, your watch is in place until 9 a.m. Eastern time, 8 a.m. Central time.
Okay, and Allison, I'm seeing here moving into Dade County now, an area of some pretty strong shear right here, and I'm also seeing on our velocity imagery where we have most likely another area of broad rotation moving into Dade County. If you were in Trenton, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to go ahead and say go to your safe place. This is not necessarily a tornado, but it is broad rotation, and this is a thunderstorm still capable of producing a tornado. Again, no tornado warning for you, but this is, I'm tell you what I'm looking at on the radar. And I am seeing where we have another area of broad circulation. At the very least, you're getting crazy rain, and look at the wind. Wind speeds approaching Trenton, Georgia right now in excess of 60 miles per hour. If you live in Trenton, let me know what you are experiencing. It's looking like it's very, very windy indeed. And again, with this area of rotation where I'm not saying tornado, but I am saying at least some upper level rotation with this. I would be extremely, extremely cautious. And you can see as soon as it comes, we get a little bit of a break there where it's not as bad. So it does look like maybe it has fallen apart a little bit. You still may be having some broad rotation, but at the very least, again, if you were in Trenton, you are getting some really strong winds right now.
And people, obviously, that live both in Jackson and DeKalb counties in Alabama and in Dade County in Georgia are very well aware of this. That area has been a hot spot through the years of those storms coming off of Sand Mountain, going down into the valley, and you have Lookout Mountain there. So you're talking about that movement from Sand Mountain right at that Alabama-Georgia line moving into the Trenton area as well. So I think people who have been there for a long time are aware of that. If you are new, we have so many new people that move into our area. This is definitely a spot that has been active. We've seen it a lot in the years past.
Olivia says, in Trenton, strong wind and hail. Another person says, heavy, heavy rain, all caps, in Trenton. Thank you, Amberly, for that. Counts says, very windy in Trenton. Caitlin says, a light show in Lookout Valley. Yeah, we can add the lightning in, and that's awesome to look at, isn't it? I'm going to take the lightning out just for clarity of the map. But, yeah, Trenton, you are getting hammered with 60-mile-per-hour winds. And you can see how that severe thunderstorm warning has now been extended to include Rossville, Fort Oglethorpe, Chickamauga, down toward Lafayette, as this entire line continues to move to the east. Fortunately, we're dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings and not tornado warnings, though we still have tornado warnings in effect in Jackson County until 3:15 officially. But I can tell you, in both of those tornado warned areas, I am seeing nothing indicating rotation at all that is concerning me in the least. And Allison, as you're looking at that, if you see anything, you let me know. And I'm going to focus on Trenton a little bit more, because that honestly is where the heaviest wind is, where we are most likely seeing the strongest hail. Let me click on that. Might be a little bit behind, but we do have reports of hail now in Trenton. Let me see if I can hone in on that. Yeah, so this is where our definite core of hail is, in the Trenton area. And along with that, the winds just sitting right on top there in Dade County. Once again, we're talking about 69, 63. Okay, that may be an anomaly pixel that I just happened to click on. It says 105. I'd be surprised if it was that high, but definitely 60+ mile per hour wind gusts in that area. Not only that, but just torrential rain. Allison was talking about the flooding potential earlier, where 1 to 2 inches of rain has fallen already in a lot of the path of where these storms are going. So that's going to be another avenue of concern for us over the next several hours.
I'm going to interrupt you because we have a new tornado warning for western Jackson County. So this is what we were talking about before, how there's more storms. It wasn't over if you were in Jackson County. So we have a new tornado warning that has just been issued for western Jackson County. So this is going to be this red flashing box that you're seeing right here. This is going to include communities of Woodville, Gurley, and Pleasant Groves. I'm just going to read the text for you right now. We are looking at the potential hazard of a tornado. This is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado and the potential of quarter-size hail. It is moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. This new tornado warning is active. Let me click within that until 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's going to be 3:30 a.m. Central time. And again, we're looking at this storm that has passing kind of the south side of Huntsville, and it is moving into western Jackson County. The area that we're going to be really watching for is this one that's right down here. So you're already getting very heavy torrential rainfall, but where we see those red and green colors, that's where that concern for that rotation is. Let me put on there that shear so we can show it to you in a few different ways, and you'll notice that red popping up, that shear rate. So we're seeing that wind that's coming together. And again, this is at this point south of Huntsville, so this is in Madison County. But your heads up, if you live in western Jackson County, this tornado is for you for 25 minutes, okay? So we have a while with that going to be in place, and this is really anywhere from Pleasant Groves to Woodville. Let me go ahead and zoom in some more. Garth, you're part of that. Trenton, Alabama is part of that. Holly Tree, anywhere along State Route 65 up towards Princeton. Let's take you back down, Little Nashville, Garth again, Paint Rock community. This is going to include Lee Highway down to Woodville. So if you live in those areas, you need to go to your safe place. Now, got a new radar update. You can see that difference. Let me just rewind it one scan. See that color? Now we have a difference. It does look like it has weakened just a little bit, but that warning is in place for 25 minutes. So with anytime you have these storms, we can kind of see those rotations popping up, popping down a little bit. They will what we call cycle. So you're still going to be under that warning, and that's the spot that we're watching for. So you're already getting dumped on at this time. That's the regular radar, but this circled yellow area is where we're keeping an eye on that rotation. David?
And Allison, you were talking about the rainfall earlier, and now look what's just popped up.
Flash flood warning.
Huge flash flood warning. And some of the rainfall amounts, if we can, yeah, you've got it on Links 1. The flash flood warning in effect, I'm going to have to look it up. It's not going to let me click off the tornado watch. Actually, can you find that out on? But that's
the flash flood warning. Yes, I'm looking for it right now.
So you can see that extending basically from Alabama.
It's until 6:15 a.m. Central Time. 6:15 a.m. Central Time. The flash flood warning. Between 2 and 3 inches of rain have fallen. An additional 1 to 2 inches are going to be possible. So flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly in those areas.
So anywhere from 1 all the way up to 2.5 inches of rain is what we have seen so far with this. So Allison was talking about that earlier, and flooding, absolutely something that we're going to be watching out for. I want to go back to these storms now in Dade County, and we're going to focus on those for just a second. We'll keep an eye on the thunderstorm, the newest tornado warning for western Jackson County. So far, we did see an initial burst of rotation there. I'm not seeing anything really crazy right now, but we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Do want to get back into Dade County for just a minute. If you are in this area, let me know what kind of winds you're getting. Looks like the strongest winds may be now east of Trenton. I'll click on some wind speeds, still 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. Right about here in between Chickamauga and Trenton. And you can see all of those areas. So we're talking about Jamesburg, Durham, So all of those areas getting really heavy wind, and all that's moving toward Chickamauga, so be aware of that. If we're in Chattanooga, yeah, let me know what you got going on in Chattanooga. Maybe a little bit gusty with 25, 30 mile per hour winds. We are looking at crazy, crazy rainfall beginning to move through both of those areas. Chattanooga up to Red Bank, a lot of lightning. You do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. That severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Bradley County, for Hamilton County until 5 a.m. because of the potential for some of those strong winds. Now, the wind...
Quarter-size hail also. I haven't seen a hail core, but just letting you know the quarter-size hail also listed on that warning for that.
And the warning for Hamilton and Bradley. Now, what I will tell you is I'm not, and on Facebook, let me know, lightning and rain seems to be the biggest deal for you right now. I don't see that you're getting a lot of wind, but let me know if I'm wrong. Wind is crazy in Flintstone. That's to the south. Okay. Thank you for that. Lightning in Hickson, power out in Bryant. Debris flew everywhere. Trees down. Thank you, Corey, for that. That's in Bryant, Alabama. That's where we did have a tornado warning. We still have a couple of tornado warnings in that area, but the winds have died down. And I'm not seeing anything right now in terms of rotation. And I think they're going to let both of these will expire at 3:15, and I think they're just riding them out and letting them expire. The one to our west. Okay, another one. Another two. Okay, no, another one. Okay, so here's another tornado warning.
I don't even.
Let's figure that one out. And I'm trying to figure out why they are issuing some of these, quite frankly.
While we're looking at that new tornado warning, and we'll get you that information, I did want to give you an update. If you're in Trenton, reports of pea-sized hail hitting the roof at the Emergency Operations Center there in Trenton. So the Emergency Management Director there and kind of reporting that back, and also getting reports previously of some of that hail that was on Sand Mountain as well.
Okay, and I'm seeing some pretty strong shear right here. I'm going to actually pull up there. Do you have that pulled up?
The newest tornado warning is for a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 7 miles north of Gurley. It's moving east at 50 miles per hour. The potential for that tornado, and that's going to be this one right here. That's the newest warning until 4:45 a.m. Eastern Time, 3:45 a.m. Central Time, and we're going to be looking at kind of just where we're looking at this line right here, this bend right there where we have that arch is where we're going to be eyeing for that possible rotation. And again, this is radar indicated rotation. Want people to go ahead and go to your safe place. This is going to be in effect for 30 minutes. And that storm is going to be moving generally to the east at about 50 miles per hour.
So very active. It's all very active, guys. This is not this tornado warning. While we do have a lot of really good, strong, stout winds in here, that is still, for my money, not the in terms of wind and in terms of lightning and rain. It's still North Georgia is pretty much the big game. We are starting to see it getting pretty windy in Athens, it looks like, just to the north there as well. So we can click and see some maybe 50, 60 mile per hour winds there, wind gusts. And if you're in Athens, let me know what the winds are like there. Kim says in South Pittsburgh, just stopped, but the wind is awful in South Pittsburgh. So we are getting some pretty good wind there. Also, Ashland says starting to get a little wild off of Highland Park and Bailey Avenue. Heavy rain and lightning downtown by the Choo-Choo, slightly windy, and the winds are picking up in Cleveland. And you can see this storm moving right through the heart of Chattanooga. Again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Hamilton County until 5 a.m., 45 more minutes. Rain, lightning, some hail and wind will be the biggest factors that you are looking at. Again, a number of tornado warnings stretching across northeast Alabama. What I'm seeing some pretty strong shear in this line, and just crazy wind in that line.
Yeah, and David, if they can switch over to links 2, I'm going to show everybody at home kind of what happened. We talked earlier about those storm cells merging, so I'm rewinding you back in time. This is 4 a.m. This is 15 minutes ago. Look at this line right here. Look at this storm that already existed in Jackson County. As those two come together, that's then triggering that rotation, and that is what caused that newest tornado warning that just popped up. I'm going to pull up the shear rate, and you can see that movement then. Watch as that drops down from the north to the south. It hits that existing storm, and then we start getting those ripples, and that's what caused that tornado warning to be issued. So we're looking at kind of 2 different areas here where we had that cell merger. So I'm going to circle these for you right here. And then we have this area right here that was part of, let's go back to regular radar, that initial storm that was already existing. So again, it's a little bit of a complicated situation as you had these 2 storms coming together and seeing how everything pans out. For our folks that are in Northeast Alabama, right now, yes, you have that flash flood warning, but our biggest concern is going to be on that tornado threat to get you through that at this time. And again, 2 different warnings, one that's in kind of moving in from western, this one, and that's going to be in effect until 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 Central Time. And then this newest one, that's in effect until 4:45 a.m. Eastern Time. So it's going to be 3:45 a.m. Central Time as those storms kind of merge together and seeing how that pans out.
And Allison, I'm looking closely at these severe thunderstorm warnings for North Georgia up into Chattanooga. This is just a lot of rainfall. Specifically, I'm even seeing a little bit of hail, a nice little hail core right here south of Chickamauga. We're going to zoom in on that area. And that is where not only heavy rain, but really strong winds are blowing. And you've got this little burst of hail right here as well. So Ascalon, Cooper Heights getting hail. Not to mention the lightning and the insane wind to go along with it. You can see that hail falling right there. So we'll zoom out. Don't see anything. Going back to the tornado warnings for just a minute, I'm still looking and searching, and I'm not seeing still. We're watching it closely, and I'm definitely seeing the shear. I'm not seeing it being able to cycle or get cyclonic. So that is great news. I mean, so far, it does bear watching, and that tornado warning is there for a reason, as Allison was laying out earlier. Notice the ones for eastern Jackson County have expired as well. They should have, and have been taken over by the severe thunderstorm warning, which now actually for looks like western Dade County is no longer even under a severe thunderstorm warning, and it's more for Walker County. Near Chickamauga, that's where we have that cell producing the hail, about 1 inch in diameter, which means that not only do we have hail, but we have some pretty gusty winds blowing in that area also, strong enough to keep hail 1 inch in diameter up in the air. So we can show you some of those winds, and I'll click on them, and you let me know if you're in Chickamauga what kind of wind you're getting. Looks to me like you're getting 50 to 60 plus mile per hour winds, wind gusts. Anyone heard of a tornado warning in Soddy Daisy? No, there's no tornado warning in Soddy Daisy. What you are getting in Soddy Daisy, you'll notice that the winds are really picking up there. So we're looking at probably 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts, Chattanooga and northward. And we'll try to get up towards Soddy Daisy. You can see heavy rain and lightning, but severe thunderstorm warning. Definitely heavy rain, definitely lightning. Haven't seen any sign of any hail around Soddy Daisy, around Red Bank, Chattanooga. So again, we're mainly talking lightning and rain for that area. The hail that we have, still a hail core south of Chickamauga, that is moving to the east. And then back to our tornado warnings once again. We are looking at tornado warnings, but again, these are thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes, and not actual tornadoes as of yet. But whenever you have all of this red, this line, in Skyline, you are getting insane wind. I can promise you that right now. Gurley, very strong winds. All of this continues to slide to the east and to the and really to the southeast somewhat. It's diving to the southeast. So if you're in Hollywood, Scottsboro, get ready for at least some really strong and gusty winds. And we will keep an eye on that and watch for the potential for rotation. Again, I'm not seeing that in here yet. That one just west of Scottsboro. So one thing I'll hone in on, just because I'm kind of hyper-focused on it, this area right here, I'm seeing strong shear north of Aspel, an area of strong shear. I've got a green and a red together, so there may be a little rotation here. That's nothing that I'm concerned about as being a tornado, but that is just an indication that, yeah, we may be seeing some rotation there, and it bears watching very carefully. So we're going to, of course, do that. This tornado warning in effect until, oh, if I can click on that. Why is it not? Okay. There we go. In effect till 3:45 Central Time. 3:45 Central Time. And that is another 25 minutes. So 25 minutes, and hopefully we can call the all clear in terms of that tornado warning. Meanwhile,
to give people, just to give people an update for power outages, 1,500 customers without power just to the west of us in Madison County in Alabama. We're going to be keeping a close eye on Jackson County with all those tornado warnings. As we continue to get updates from there, we start to see some power outages in Jackson County. 300 customers without power in Hamilton County. That's as this severe thunderstorm is coming through Hamilton County as we speak. 400 without power in Meigs and 800 in McMinn County. So that's going to be our current power outages. And again, we'll go back over to that radar with that tornado warning in northeast Alabama. So this is going to be in Jackson County, just naming a few of those communities. If you're in Skyline, along State Route 79 to Pleasant Groves to Tupelo, Black Ankle down to Scottsboro, Larkinville, Lim Rock, Roseberry, Lake Shores, you're all part of that. This is going to include our main highway 72 that goes through Jackson County and the Tennessee River, watching this area here, and then also watching, so we're looking at our line right here, and then we're watching this one right here. So remember, we've been keeping an eye on two different things. This is where that cell was merging together. Those two storms came together and were causing that ripple, and then this one was part of that original storm that came out. And David, it looks like there's a new tornado warning that just popped up to the south too, to include that kind of far corner of DeKalb County as well.
Yeah, and it's pretty much the same thing, I think, is why they issued the other one. You've got that little rope of stronger wind shear going on, and that's sliding southward from Scottsboro down to New Hope. But again, just like the line to the north, I'm not seeing anything that is crazy. So Nancy's saying, I want to focus on a couple of areas: wind, pouring rain, thunder in southwest Bradley County. Thank you for that.
We do have reports of dime-sized hail now that was coming in from Walker County, just west of Cooper Heights. No doubt,
no doubt. And something else, what am I looking at here? Okay, so let's focus on this for a second. Okay, still looking at this crazy hail right here, and I believe this is what you were talking about. Let's see if we still have that hail core. Yeah, we still have that hail core going on there. And if I click on the history of this, you can see how the history of hail has just been dumping out of this storm over its life as it's been moving to the west. So that hail is still falling. The wind is still blowing in Chickamauga. It's getting pretty rough. Austin says getting very small amount of hail hitting down on us here and there. And Austin, tell me where you're living when you put that in. Victoria says crazy wind and lightning in the middle of Cleveland. Middle of Cleveland getting heavy wind and lightning. Okay. In Cleveland, you are under severe thunderstorm warning until 5 a.m. That includes Hamilton County until 5 a.m., so another 37 minutes. And then hopefully, notice behind these, there are no warnings, nothing going on, and I'm hopeful that we may even start to see some of these western tornado watches rolling off in the next 30 to 40 minutes. So that would be a good thing too. We can do a future scan just to show you where everything is generally going to be in an hour. And this is it. There you go. So here's now, and here's an hour. We'll do that a couple of times. Here's now. So I do think we'll still have some pretty good thunderstorms that we're going to be talking about moving into Blue Ridge, Ellijay, moving through Dalton by about 4:50. So not out of the woods. All of this behind is a lot of rain, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but this main line is what we're looking at and we're waiting to get through. Again, notice behind that line, no warnings at all. Along it, that is where we're dealing with the tornado warnings for North Alabama. Severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Walker and Catoosa County where we have hail. And then this storm in Cleveland, we're going to zoom in on it for a second as well. That severe thunderstorm warning, we've got a nice little cell popping up right here. And wouldn't be surprised if we had a little bit of hail falling out of that. Yeah, 100% chance of hail. 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Our tornado index is small, so that is pretty much hail that we're talking about. Don't see a hail core yet. We'll keep an eye out for that. But again, I do believe there is likely some hail falling out right here, just to the west of Benttree Acres near Bow Spring. You might be getting some of that. So that is all moving through Bradley County, and hopefully that's not too much of a deal for you. Ooltewah, Collegedale, Appleton, it's coming to you pretty quick. Chattanooga, you're on the back side. You're on the back side, so hang in there. We're still looking at very heavy rain, lots of lightning, very gusty winds all along this boundary. Rossville, Fort Oglethorpe. Still a severe thunderstorm warning for you down into Chickamauga. And again, this is where we have had that hail falling. We'll click on this and showing that hail is large, 1.5 inches in diameter, and a brand new severe thunderstorm warning, no surprise, issued out ahead of that. This severe thunderstorm warning includes Whitfield County, as well as Catoosa County and Whitfield County now, Dalton, Varnell, Tunnel Hill. All of this is moving your way, and I think we showed you a moment ago how this is going to be moving into your area within the next 30, 40 minutes on our future scan, and looks like it may hold together enough to produce some damaging winds of 60 miles per hour, as well as some hail to go along with it. And this hail has been large in this particular area. You can still see that hail core just holding on. There is the history of that hail. And in between Chickamauga and Lafayette, we'll try to click on the winds here for you and just show you some of the just ridiculous winds. So if you're in Ringgold, get ready. The wind is going to be picking up if it hasn't already. You are looking at wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour near Fort Oglethorpe, near Ringgold, and all of that is moving your way. So if you are heavy, well, I'll read some of these. Linda says heavy rain and wind in southeast Bradley County. Shanna says heavy wind and rain along with the thunder and lightning in Lafayette.
David,
So,
may I
yeah,
interrupt you just real quick? I do want to know, let our folks who are in Jackson County, Alabama know, just got this update. The NOAA weather radio in Huntsville is out. So it just went out. If you are in Jackson County, you're going to have to change your radio frequency. The Huntsville one is out. You need to use the Fort Payne one, and that's going to be WWF 44. That's 162.500 as far as the megahertz go. Of course, we're going to continue to talk about Jackson County, but a lot of people, they want to use those NOAA weather radios. So I want you to know, if yours just went to static with that Huntsville, they're aware of that. It just went out. So the backup is in either Fort Payne or Arab, Alabama.
And if you are one of our viewers in Stevenson, or I'll say Scottsboro, Jackson County in general, we are not giving short shrift on the tornado warning. What we're doing, though, is we're keeping an eye on it to see if there's any sign on radar at all of definitive rotation, indicating at least some rotation, if not a tornado, and I'm not seeing that on the radar at all. I am seeing some really strong winds on our relative velocity. I'm looking at these greens and reds that are kind of lined up together, and I'm looking for those to intermix a little bit more. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. But right now, a lot of wind, a lot of lightning, and a lot of rain, and all of this moving in this particular portion. It's moving to the east, but you can see that general southeast motion with it also. So we're keeping an eye on it. We're definitely keeping an eye on it. Also keeping a big eye, a very close eye on this severe thunderstorm warning in effect that extends over into Whitfield County now until 5 a.m. If you're in Trenton, you're just getting heavy rain and lightning. Nothing severe for you at all. And you're going to see this the entire line continuing to move on to the east. If you are even, I would say, western Walker County, you still have that severe thunderstorm warning in place until 4:30, so that's about to expire. So yours is about to expire. This one in eastern Walker County and over into Catoosa and Whitfield, that's going to be in place for a while, especially when you have a storm like this moving through with hail 1.5 inches in diameter. And all of that is moving to the east-northeast. So if you're in any of these areas, these are the areas that are going to be impacted by this storm in the next 20 minutes. And that hail, again, over 1 inch in diameter. Jay says, watching buggies fly across the Walmart parking lot in Fort Oglethorpe. Jay, are you serious? Hail in Ringgold, crazy lightning and wind in Bradley County near Free Will Road. Pummeled by hail in Rock Spring. My dog is freaking out. Hail in Chickamauga. Yeah, that hail is very expansive, and this is the expanded hail core for this particular storm. So you can see it's pretty much all over. It's pretty much all over that general area. I'm going to go out to Bradley County real quick. Hail in East Brainerd on my steps. You got hail in East Brainerd? Okay. Now that I'm not picking up on, and I'm not saying it's not, I'm just saying I'm not picking that up on radar, so thank you. High winds in East Brainerd as well. Blairsville, Georgia, it's thundering. Bethany says, I can hear trees falling here in Rossville. Trees falling in Rossville. So there are really gusty winds along this line, and this is moving east. So Cohutta, Varnell, Tunnel Hill, Dalton, get ready because all of this is moving into your area. Okay, winds in Athens. Yeah, somebody tell me what the winds are like in Athens. I'd love to know. We can go on up to Athens, and it looks like the winds are in McMinn County in general. We could be getting some very strong gusts there, so that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, 64 miles per hour. If you're in McMinn County, let me know. Let me know if I'm full of beans, if the wind anywhere is like that, because that'll blow you around. That'll do some damage, definitely. The wind in East Ridge and Ringgold is really bad. Still looking at this line of just torrential rain and wind moving through Ringgold, Tunnel Hill, Varnell. Going back to our tornado warning, want to make sure we're keeping an eye on that. We do have another tornado warning that has been issued for DeKalb County, Alabama. And you can see that is the same kind of a thing that we're dealing with. Nothing really definitively showing rotation, but you can see the reds, you can see the greens, they're all kind of hanging out in front of each other, but again, no real confirmation of a tornado there. I'm going to look at the Huntsville Weather Service and see if they're saying anything specific about that. The Huntsville National Weather Service is watching additional storms moving in from Mississippi into northwest Alabama. So if we zoom out, okay, so you can see severe thunderstorm warnings there and just additional storms moving into Alabama. Looking at some of the storm reports, and I'm going to see if I can narrow this down to just this event. Bear with me just a second here. We're going to change this 12 hours. Okay, so these are storm reports. So I've got storm reports for the past 6 hours on here. Let's up that a little bit. There we go. Okay, so when we get storm reports in, we will definitely See if any additional ones pop in. Okay, so we do have a wind damage report right here. Trees down along South Pittsburgh Mountain Road. And that was at about 2:45 a.m. Central Time. So we do have one report of trees down as a result of either straight line winds, or it could have been outside chance it was a tornado, but I haven't seen, again, any indication of a tornado. The storms moving through Cleveland, Chattanooga are the worst ones that we are looking at, especially this one drifting down into Catoosa County, moving out of Walker County. This has been producing hail for quite a while, and you can see it is still producing hail falling out of it. And there is the hail core, again now moving east through Catoosa County. So not only hail, but very strong winds and ridiculous amount of lightning moving into Catoosa County. Ringgold, just nasty as it can be. Ooltewah, nasty. Cleveland, the same. Looking at one second. Okay, Catoosa, here it comes, just left Chickamauga. There you go. Marble-sized hail in Rock Spring, thank you for that. Light wind in northern Athens, thank you for that. Heavy wind and rain in Appleton. Big wind in Boyd Highlands. No wind yet in Trenton. I think if you're in Trenton, the wind is behind you, or ahead of you. It's already past you. Power flickering and wind whipping in Ringgold, Fort Oglethorpe. That's the heart of it right here. And also that hail, be aware of that. If you're in Tunnel Hill, I would suspect you'll probably get some of the hail and some of the heaviest rain. Somebody is saying it sounds like a plane hovering over Circle K. I don't know what city that's in. Heavy wind, lightning, and rain just ended in Fort O. David Evans says hot but sunny in Southwest Florida. Thank you for that, David, rubbing it in. No power on Camp Road in Kensington, Georgia. Thank you for that. And we do have one wind damage report. South Pittsburgh, Mountain Road, trees down there. So that's the only official report we have so far. Let me see if any other ones populate in. No, that's the only one so far. Ooltewah up into Cleveland, Bradley County. I will say, if you're looking for the positive, it looks like it has calmed a bit in Chattanooga. The severe thunderstorm warning has migrated eastward, so most of Walker County, the western half of Walker County, and all of Dade County no longer in a severe thunderstorm warning. Western Hamilton County, northern Hamilton County, no longer in a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's good news. We've trimmed that and pushed it to the east a little bit. I am continuing to look at this line of just torrential rain and crazy hail, and that's where our hail core is right here.
Can I get the IRP box?
Yes. Okay, so that hail core is sliding. Let me just kind of go back in time with that. You can see that sliding the east and southeast a little bit, and that's going to be moving right here into Whitfield County. And so if you're in Dalton, that hail core may move toward you. And I'm going to zoom in on that, and we'll just do a little street tracking with that. So this is the hail core that we've been seeing. It went right through Center Grove. I'm sure we saw some hail there. And now it's beginning to move through Catlett toward Old Alabama Highway. Again, this is hail that's moving eastward. That part of the storm is moving eastward. And coming up in just a moment, I believe Allison Pryor, you're going to be on television, right?
Yes.
Okay. So still watching the tornado warnings that we have. And when Allison goes on air, you are going to hear her and not me, and they will switch over to her computer. But until then, I'm still looking at these tornado warnings to see if there's anything tornado-wise we need to be concerned about. And I'm just not seeing anything popping up yet. Nothing there yet at all. Okay. Power flickering in Ringgold Tunnel Hill line. Heavy rain and wind in Cleveland. Thank you, Brandon, for that. Wind and rain are picking up in Calhoun, Tennessee. Okay, so somebody is saying, is another line supposed to hit Walker County? Well, we'll do a future scan. We can show you. All of this is moving east and southeast. I'm going to do a future scan real quick. And here's what we're looking at in an hour. We'll go out to our entire area. So this is now, and this is an hour. So if you're in Chattanooga, the worst is behind you. As all of this in Cleveland down into Dalton, what you're getting right now is all of that moves east, the worst will be behind you. So by, I'm going to say, if you're in Cleveland by, what, 5:15, another 30 minutes, and the worst will be behind you. It'll be moving into Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Murphy, and you can see a lot of the thunderstorms will be moving south out of Jackson County toward Fort Payne and Albertville in Alabama. So that is an hour from now, but until then, we still got this mess continuing to work its way on through. Now notice we still have a lot of tornado watches, but these tornado watches in places like Bledsoe County, Sequatchie County, you're past the threat of a tornado at this point. There's not going to be a tornado there. They will most likely let those expire. They're set to expire at 5 Central Time. Maybe they'll let them last that long. My sense is they will let those expire earlier. Notice behind this line, there are absolutely no watches, warnings, none of that. And even this cluster of tornado warnings is not yielding anything. Now here's an area of strong shear. And that just went away. Okay. So I'm continuing to struggle to find maybe, so let me see if we have anything in here at all. There might be some broad areas of rotation, maybe right here, maybe in here, but again, nothing that's really indicative of the signature that you would see with a tornado. A lot of wind. I would imagine we're getting some hail right here. I don't have a hail signature, but that's some really heavy rain. All the lightning, Scottsboro just getting hammered with heavy rain, lightning. Under Scottsboro, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, a flood warning, and a tornado warning. Now, the tornado warning, there's nothing in the Scottsboro area at all that's indicative that you're going to get a tornado. Henniger, we'll keep an eye on you. I don't think that's likely, though. Dalton, you are just starting to get the brunt of the heavy rain, the lightning, and yes, maybe some of that hail also. We still have our hail core intact, and it is still moving eastward, now fully in Whitfield County. That severe thunderstorm warning in Whitfield in effect until 5 a.m. Eastern Time. And here are just some areas that are about to get impacted by hail. If you're in Trickham, Mount Vernon, let me know. Christina said, well, that was fun, not going to sleep now in Red Bank. Stay safe, people. Okay, there you go. And we can even go up to Red Bank and see if Christina should go to sleep or not. I have a feeling that she is probably going to be okay. Yeah, if you're in this part of Hamilton County, you are good to go. You made it. So the severe thunderstorm warning, Cleveland, Ooltewah, let's get some lightning in there. The worst part of this storm still is this area in North Georgia where the wind and the hail is just torrential. Amanda says, man, the lightning in Tunnel Hill was terrible. That's what woke me up, not the thunder, LOL. Can we sleep in peace in Ooltewah? If this is past you, you're going to be okay. If this is past you in Ooltewah, then you are okay to go to bed. Okay, click on some other pages. Lots of wind in Cohutta, Georgia, Red Clay area. Yeah, Cohutta will slide in there. So that's what we're looking at. I'll click on some of the winds. And notice these are gusts, and these are radar estimated, so keep that in mind. But you can see 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts it looks like we're dealing with really all along that boundary. The wind's lightening up in Chattanooga, East Ridge, Rossville, Chickamauga, Trenton. It looks like it's lightening up for you.
David, the tornado warning was allowed to expire at 4:45. So I believe that we're going to be going to break, and then we're going to be starting our newscast officially for our what will be an abbreviated 4:30 a.m. newscast. And of course, we're going to continue this severe weather coverage as we do have, as you've been talking about, the hail, the wind, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. But we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Teeth are amazing. That's why at Affordable Dentures and Implants, we have new financing options to help you get a new smile today, not someday. Scan the QR code or call to learn more.
Go ahead and smile.
Bad boy mowers aren't built for everyone. They're built for the bold, the originals, people who get the job done and love every second of it. Bad boys are built for horsepower and cutting-edge precision with a first-of-its-kind 3-link suspension and a style all their own. Because you're not everyone. That's a good thing. Bad boy. Mow with an attitude.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So this morning, I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event, taking a test drive. When Dave, the sales guy, is like, you're gonna love this. He shows me the best-in-class fuel economy and lets me know it's recommended by Consumer Reports. When Dave says, these cars are going fast, I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Hurry in for Memorial Day savings. Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000 or get up to $1,000 bonus cash on select 2024 Rogue trims.
At Affordable Dentures and Implants, our Snap Secure Dental Implants will help you eat and speak with confidence at a price that's affordable. So if you think you can't afford dental implants,
Thank you.
Okay, so all of these are moving to the east. If you're in Benton, you do not have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for you. You're probably going to see some gusty winds, heavy rain, and lightning. And I wouldn't be surprised if you had a severe thunderstorm warning issued for your area, but will this one extend into Polk County? The one in Bradley County will expire at 5 Eastern time in 12 minutes. So we're going to see what happens after that. They may let this ride with special weather statements on Bradley County. Down in Catoosa.
Yeah, that's correct. So it was allowed to expire at 4:45 a.m. So now we're talking about our coverage here for the rest of the area. Those severe thunderstorm warnings are still active for several communities. And this is the radar loop just in the past hour. And you can see this big, bold line of storms that have been rolling through. So we previously had tornado warnings in Jackson County, in Alabama. What we're left with is we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings we want you to know about. So you can see this one here in Bradley County.
This one right here in North Georgia, this has been a big time hail producer. And then also we can see this severe thunderstorm warning
that's about to roll into DeKalb County as well. Let me zoom into a few of these different spots. So we're going to go down to the south first. Both of these severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place, you could potentially have wind gusts at 60 miles per hour, but you're getting that hail paired with it as well. So this is going right up along Sand Mountain, pushing into the Henniger area, and eventually it's going to be dropping down to the southeast. This one right here certainly has been dropping confirmed hail as it's been moving through North Georgia. Ringgold, you're finally on the back side of it. If you're in Dalton, though, you're about to get impacted with the worst of that as that's pushing through. Vivid lightning with this as well. So putting on a light show, and of course those rumbles of thunder that get paired with it. Let's head up to Tennessee. So we have this warning right here that's still in effect into Bradley County. This individual burst of a line is beginning to show some signs of weakening, so we haven't seen it extended into Polk County, but you're certainly getting absolute downpours if you're in the Benton area all the way down to the Ocoee, Ducktown, Turtletown. This is heading your way as this is going to be pushing eastward as well. Here's a check of future scan showing that movement. So going an hour forward in time, here's 5:50 a.m. You can see all of that storm action from Ellijay, Blue Ridge up to Murphy and Andrews. So again, that's going to be an hour from now. And then look an hour from now down throughout all of DeKalb County in Alabama. Those storms kind of extending up into the Dalton area as well. So this risk is still going to be in place probably for another hour or two. As we look at our hail history, that's going to be that pink purple color. This especially is that one storm that has had confirmed hail at this point for probably about an hour and a half, pushing from Alabama and into Georgia with that severe thunderstorm warning that is still in place. Those shaded in yellow boxes, so the ones that aren't flashing, that's a tornado watch. I'll get to that in just a moment. But your wind gusts right now, you can see some gusts around 20 miles per hour in Chattanooga, 34 miles per hour in the Scottsboro area. And here is a look at the power outages. 1,500 customers without power in Hamilton County, 1,000 in Catoosa, 1,000 in Walker, 1,500 in Dade, 100 in Jackson County, 800 in McMinn, 400 in Meigs County. So these have been some powerful, strong storms. Tornado watch is in place still. It's been removed from some of our Tennessee counties, but in place in Tennessee until 6 a.m. Eastern time. North Georgia, Northeast Alabama, yours is lasting a little bit longer based off of that southeastern progression of those storms until 9 a.m. Eastern time. That's going to be 8 a.m. Central time. So here's the bigger picture. This is what we're battling with, that leading edge that has brought that severe weather. Notice on the back side of that, though, things quiet down pretty quickly, and then there's a cold front. So you don't have to worry about the storms for the entirety of your Memorial Day, but certainly through about 8 a.m., they're going to be with us. As we go ahead and look at the times after that, watch how those clouds break up for your Monday afternoon. Yeah, can't completely rule out a pop-up shower, a rumble of thunder for your Monday afternoon into the evening time, but the concern for today, it's right now, it's over the next about 2 hours or so, and then we're going to see improving conditions for the rest of your day. Here's your Memorial Day evening. If you're doing any kind of cookouts, those backyard barbecues, generally you're going to have a mostly sunny sky for that. And then for your Tuesday, mostly sunny overall. Notice those winds from the northwest. Humidity is going to be falling as the day progresses tomorrow. We're going to start to get that more comfortable air in place, and then Wednesday is going to look absolutely gorgeous because you're going to have plentiful sunshine, but it's going to be low humidity all day long. Just a slim chance of a 10% that there may be a spotty shower on Wednesday. So when we go ahead and look at what we're going to be dealing with, then here's your 7-day forecast. 86 for your high today. That alert, it's for right now. The 80%, that's right now what we're dealing with. The rest of the week, though, much quieter weather across the Tennessee Valley. 82 on Wednesday, 81 on Thursday. That's going to feel nice. Paul?
All right, thank you, Allison. You and David Carnes, the entire team, been on it all morning, keeping us informed with the important information. All right, turning our attention now.